I wasn't expecting it at all. I don't never win, so I was just happy that we won. And give credit to Indiana. They played us tough. I know, like, people think that Indiana wasn't a good team or whatever the case may be. I mean, I thought they were as tough as anybody we've played all season. They were physical. They were fast. They put a lot of pressure on us, so shout out to them and respect to them.
JALEN, I want to talk about your vocal leadership this year. Obviously, that was something people talked about going in this year, who would kind of be the vocal leader on this team. It looked like you kind of embraced that throughout, kind of motivating teammates, speaking your mind. How did you feel like you took another step there this year and showed comfort in that area?
Yeah, we had some guys leave. So I wanted to make sure that that void was filled. Marcus Smart, one of my brothers that got traded, he was one of the voices of our team. And when he wasn't here, I wanted to make sure I stepped in and make sure that everybody felt me and everybody knew what the standard was. And we didn't skip no steps all season. I think we played the right way every single game. I've held everybody accountable, and this is the byproduct.
JALEN, D. White had the tip in last year, and this year he has the shot to send you guys to the finals. How did it feel to see him get that moment and send you guys on?
Great shot. We work on that all the time. 2-on-1 reads. They veered it. I was able to get to the paint with Turner on me and just found him. And before I told D. White, just stay ready, it's coming. And that was just a big shot to put us up 3 and help us advance to the finals.
A number of times this season, Joe's been asked what's changed, and he said time. And he said that time allowed you guys to just figure out how to go about doing things together. How have you guys used time? How have you used experiences to kind of solidify yourselves and get ready for your second trip to the final?
Yeah, I mean, we feel like we're a different team than we were last year and the year before that. I know everybody wants to continue to kind of pigeonhole us to what's happened in the past, but we've had a different team every single year.
All right, we're going to talk about the Celtics win here for a minute. All right, how do I feel about it? Was it legit? Did they earn their trip here to the Eastern Conference Finals? And what does Jaylen Brown being named the Eastern Conference MVP really mean? My thoughts. Boston has had an easy-ass fucking trip to Eastern Conference Finals. They just have. You look back, and they played Miami without Jimmy Butler. They lost a game to them. It might have been game 1 in the series. I'm not sure. Then you move on. All right, so you got round 1, we play at Miami. They have no Jimmy Butler. No real test there. We end up losing a game in that series. I believe it was game 1. Completely unacceptable to lose any games. You should be thinking, sweep, baby. First team to go 16-0 in the East, I think. At least in a long time. That's what mindset should be as a champion and as a leader. Fuck this. Let's drop a game to Miami without their star player. Then they go to the Cleveland series. And Cleveland has, for the most part, no healthy Donovan Mitchell, a team that has been unhealthy the entire year. All 3 of their stars have barely played together at all, and I mean barely. So they get another 4-1 victory there, but they drop another game, completely unacceptable. Now they've lost 2 games to 2 teams without their star players. And then we move on to Indiana, and we get the sweep, but it is... like, literally, Indiana outplayed the Celtics for those 4 games. If we looked at who had the lead for longer, I wouldn't be surprised if Indiana won more minutes than the Celtics did. I didn't dig into it. I don't care that much. But just looking with my eyes, the Celtics didn't play well. If you're playing down to the competition and playing your way into the finals, you're going to get punched in the face. And I mean... you're going to get fucking smacked in the face. I don't know if they're going to be able to respond. They've had the easiest trip to the NBA Finals I can remember. Literally, they hadn't played a single team that had a star player healthy. Tyrese Halliburton went down, and without him, obviously, the Pacers are just a young team with no leader. No one expected Indiana to even make it this far. Number 1 team people expected to see was Philly and Milwaukee. Both of those teams, their stars were hurt. They didn't even advance. They both busted out in the first round, expectedly, if you had asked me in the beginning of the year. because they've just been choke artists over the last 5 years, especially Embiid. Embiid did flash at least a little bit of greatness here in the playoffs, even though he was injured. I thought he at least showed some heart for the first time in his career. So the Knicks move on. They have absolutely nobody. They're decimated. So the best team doesn't even move on in that series. Indiana moves on. And then I would say arguably the Miami Heat with the Jimmy Butler would have given the Celtics a harder run than Cleveland did. So the Celtics played the easiest team there. Knicks played the easiest team there. Then the Indiana makes it to the Eastern Conference Finals just by pure chance. I mean, they're an up-and-coming team, and they're good, and they made some trades which made them deeper. But the Indiana is not the second-best team in the Eastern Conference. Nobody actually thinks that. If everyone was healthy, no one would have picked them to make it this far. So you get the Celtics literally advanced. Now they have to play probably what looks like Dallas. Dallas definitely has the best player in the series, and arguably, some people are going to argue they're the second best player with Kyrie. I think it goes Luka, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. You list those two whoever you want. Jason Tatum, then Jaylen Brown. Then I think you got to list Kyrie. But then it goes like Kristaps, Jrue Holiday. Then it's probably a toss-up between any of the next players. But I think a lot of people are picking Dallas, but the reason I opened up this video with Jaylen Brown at the microphone is because I think potentially him winning this Eastern Conference MVP might be the best thing that's ever happened to Boston. And I say that because I think that he's the alpha on the team. I've been thinking he's the alpha on the team for the last couple of years. They should have traded away Jason Tatum and got a fucking workload for him a couple of years ago. Can you imagine what the haul on Jason Tatum would have been 2 years ago? But anyways, this is where the team's at. They need an alpha dog. Not somebody who's going to dribble up the court undecisively, watch everyone else stand around, run the shot clock out to 23 seconds, and take up a fading three-pointer 7 times in the third and fourth quarters while going 1 for 7, finishing with 3 points with no fouls, John, because they don't understand the pace of the game. To me, that's what Jason Tatum is. I don't understand why the rest of the NBA doesn't see it. You would think he'd be smarter at this point in his career. Just like Ant-Man just showed you all his weaknesses playing against Dallas. He showed you he can't store his energy. He doesn't know whether he wants to assert himself on offense or defense. He clearly doesn't have the consistency to be able to do both. Whether you want to call it the endurance or the work ethic or the smarts to know how to pace himself on both ends of the floor. He can't do it at this point in his career. He penetrated only to pass back out to people who were covered. He penetrated only to pass to people underneath who were double teamed. He pushed the pace of play when he shouldn't have, and he got ran off the court by Kyrie so far. That's just not understanding the game and how to play the game. That's why I think Joker was the best player in the league, because he just understands how to play. He understands all the nuances of the game. He tried to get his players involved because he knew he couldn't beat them alone. He tries to get in position. He directs traffic. He sets picks. He works hard on both ends of the floor. He always makes sure his teammates are in good positions when he does give them the ball. These are not things that you're finding in the best players in a lot of these teams right now, which is why there hasn't been a repeat champion in the NBA in a long time, because there hasn't been that alpha dog besides Steph and LeBron. And even arguing LeBron still didn't understand with way too many jacked up threes, half-assing on defense, and always finger pointing. I don't think he's ever been a great leader. He was just jacked up on so many steroids that he was better than everybody. But you look at Steph Curry, and he's a true leader. I think Jaylen Brown might just need to be like, sorry, Tatum, I'm not waiting for you anymore. I'm just going to become that guy. The worst thing you can do, guys, is shy off of greatness because maybe you're expecting somebody else to be greater than you. Fuck that. A lot of the things I want to talk about in this channel are going to be about being who you're supposed to be, not feeling bad about the people who aren't as great as you, and not feeling like you shouldn't shine because somebody else might feel bad about it. That's kind of how I feel about Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. I think Jaylen Brown's got the dog in him that Jason Tatum wish he had. And I think this is what the Celtics need. As a Boston fan living here, I think Jaylen Brown needs to come out in the NBA Finals and play like he's the best player on the court. Not Luka. He probably needs to guard Kyrie, and I think he can. I think he can shut him down. Not shut him down, but make it hard for him. He's bigger, faster, and stronger than Kyrie. Kyrie's going to be quicker with better handles, but I think Jaylen Brown can lock him up on D, the best that anybody in the league can. And I think on the other end, he's going to have somebody besides Kyrie guard him because he's just being too powerful, too strong. And if he goes with the mindset that he's the best player in the court on either side, I think the Celtics actually have a chance to win this series. If he doesn't, and he doesn't assert himself as like he wants to be the next MVP or the Finals MVP, I don't think the Celtics are going to win this. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. Hope you're enjoying these NBA playoffs. I think it's been a little bit of a letdown here as of late. I thought the rest of the playoffs were pretty great. Way too many injuries in the Eastern Conference. Western Conference has been all over the place with Ant-Man sweeping Phoenix. And then you had them jumping up 2-0 in Denver. Denver winning 3 straight. Then Minnesota winning 2 more. And now they're down 3 straight to Dallas. Just completely exposing Anthony Edwards is what I am seeing. And a lot of people are piling blame on Karl Anthony Towns, and I don't get it. If you just look at it, Ant-Man hasn't had a good game since like game 2 against Denver. Since then, he's been very average, if not poor out, straight up bad. And people are finger pointing now at Karl Anthony Towns when he's clearly not the best player on the team. So, anyways, those are kind of my thoughts. I'll spit out real quick. Sorry I haven't been making videos. I've been crazy busy. But I need to get back on track. I have been watching the games. Been spending a lot of time with my boys. They've had a lot of time off lately. My oldest just turned 15, so we've been busy kind of concentrating on family. I expect you guys to do the same. Take care of yourselves. Thanks for watching. Click like, click subscribe. Enjoy the rest of these playoffs.